Quiet, please. Shh, keep it on. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the New York City remote hearing on the Committee on Economic Development. Please silence all electronic devices at this time. Also, please do not approach the dais. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, and one of us, the Sergeant at Arms, will kindly assist you. Thank you very much for your kind cooperation. Chair, we're ready to begin.
Good morning and welcome to today's New York City Council hearing of the Committee on Economic Development. Today is November 14th, 2024. My name is Amanda Farias and I have the privilege of chairing this committee. I would like to thank the members of the committee and the administration for joining us today for this important hearing on citywide access to fresh produce and Introduction 693, sponsored by Councilmember Sandy Nurse, which would require the Office of Urban Agriculture to create and implement a plan to convert unused industrial areas to urban agricultural sites. Nearly 1.6 New Yorkers face food insecurity, and many neighborhoods continue to lack adequate access to fresh, healthy food. This is simply unacceptable. The purpose of today's hearing is to examine how effectively our city agencies are working to address these challenges, particularly through urban agricultural initiatives at the Mayor's Office of Food Policy and the newly established Office of Urban Agriculture. Since the Council passed Local Laws 121 and 123 in 2021, establishing the Mayor's Office of Urban Agriculture, we have seen both progress and continuing challenges in expanding access to fresh, healthy food across our city. This progress was documented last October when the Office of Urban Agriculture released its first annual report, Cultivating Urban Agriculture in New York City, which outlined 7 key priorities and numerous initiatives to promote innovation and improve urban agricultural food production. Today, we are particularly interested in examining the Office of Urban Agriculture's progress on these priorities. According to its report, the office has begun important work to identify underutilized municipal lands for urban agriculture, including a feasibility study targeting East New York. The office has also launched initiatives to support emerging urban agriculture entrepreneurs, including an MWBE training and certification program that has already provided technical assistance to over 20 businesses. We also want to understand how the Mayor's Office of Food Policy is coordinating with other agencies to implement critical food initiatives like Health Bucks, which provides essential support for New Yorkers to purchase fresh produce at farmers markets, and new initiatives like the Farm to School program, which recently received $200,000 in state and federal grants. We'll also explore how the Office of Urban Agriculture is working to identify and develop new growing spaces while supporting the city's over 700 existing urban farms and gardens. Furthermore, we want to understand how both offices are coordinating with other city agencies to implement initiatives like the Good Food Purchasing Program. This program promotes 5 core values that we believe are essential to building a more equitable food system, supporting local economies, ensuring environmental sustainability, protecting our workforce, promoting animal welfare, and improving nutrition. These values align closely with our city's broader goals for food equity, and we look forward to hearing from both offices on how those values are being promoted across the city. Additionally, we would like to assess the Office of Urban Agriculture's progress on the 7 key priorities outlined in its report last year and understand what additional support the office may need from the Council to achieve its goals. Finally, we will consider Introduction 693 today, sponsored again by Councilmember Sandy Nurse, which would require the Mayor's Office of Urban Agriculture to create a comprehensive plan for converting unused and underutilized industrial areas across all 5 boroughs into urban agriculture sites. This plan would need to address several critical issues, including environmental protection strategies, incentive programs for local community organizations and MWBEs, and partnerships for food distribution to low-income communities. This legislation represents an important step towards expanding our city's capacity for local food production while promoting economic development and environmental sustainability. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the Economic Development Committee staff, Senior Counsel Alex Polinoff, Senior Policy Analyst William Hongach, and Finance Analyst Glenn Martelloni for their hard work in preparing for this hearing. I will also like to acknowledge we've been joined by Council Members Bottcher, Riley, and Aviles. and Councilmember Nurse. And before we turn it over to committee council, I'm just going to give Councilmember Nurse a moment to say a few words about her introduction 693.
Out of breath, just on a little bit of stairs. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Chair, for the hearing. Today we are hearing my bill, Intro 693, which would require the Office of Urban Agriculture to create and implement a plan to identify underutilized industrial areas that can be converted for urban agricultural production. And really, you know, this is an older bill that we tried to develop when I first came in. I think we kind of reached out to you all when you all were just setting up and wanted to think about what are ways that we can make space available for urban ag production and some of the challenges that people who want to do this work are facing. This was also coming out of COVID and the pandemic response and thinking about the availability of fresh food when things go really, really bad, and how do we build in resiliency that accounts for what we have here in addition to what we have in the kind of regional food shed. And looking for ways to incentivize and make available this space for folks who know they're never gonna be, you know, they're never gonna make tons and tons of money off this, but are really committed to the mission of providing fresh food and who want to try to build in that hyper-local food production and food economy into neighborhoods that really could benefit from an infusion of fresh food available year-round and supported in some ways by the city. So that's really the spirit of the bill, and love to hear feedback and looking forward to the conversation in addition to the larger conversation around access to fresh food. I think that's it. Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Nurse. I'll now turn it over to our committee council to administer the oath.
Good afternoon, Alex Polinoff, Senior Counsel. Will all members of the administration testifying today or answering questions please raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony today, and to respond honestly to council member questions? Thank you. You may begin when ready.
First, on second, I apologize. I've lost my voice, but this was a hearing that was quite important, so I hope people can bear with me with my froggy voice. Good afternoon, Chair Farias and members of the Committee Economic Development. My name is Kiana Mickey. I'm the Executive Director of the New York City's Mayor's Office of Urban Agriculture, also known as AMUA. I am pleased to be here to testify at this hearing on the critical topic of citywide access to fresh produce. The office was established by local law 123 of 2021. It is a newer office that's tasked with leading New York City's efforts to increase the access to and the production of fresh, healthy, locally grown food while strengthening climate resiliency and spurring economic activity across our city. Through research, policy development, advocacy, and community outreach, MUA aims to address the climate, wealth, and health and food disparities in our natural and built environments. We collaborate with other city agencies to advance agriculture and equity on several fronts, including community gardens, urban farms, regional food systems, workforce development, environmental justice, and overall building a green, resilient economy. New York City is now home to a breadth of urban agriculture models, such as soil-based community gardens, urban farms, rooftop gardens, and also non-soil controlled environment models, such as aquaponics and hydroponics. These models are built to teach through growing. They're also built to foster climate resiliency, and many focus on scaling healthy food production. I would be remiss to not mention that these are also spaces of healing, respite, and wellness in their communities. All of these models and sites are critical elements of our city's landscape. Green infrastructure that extends the season of growing, such as greenhouses, multi-purpose buildings that also can provide educational centers, hubs of learning, hubs of process, are also a part of urban agriculture in New York City. In the post-COVID-19 pandemic era, we are all too aware of the kind of damage and deprivation wrought by supply chain disruptions, with much of the pain felt most acutely in Black, brown, and low-income households and neighborhoods. One positive outcome of the pandemic has been a renewed focus and emphasis on regional and hyperlocal food production and access. In my experience with in the food and farm landscape, I can attest to the resiliency of our local, regional, and food systems in providing locally grown food, being critical access points for larger food distributions, and organizing stakeholders that support their community. At MUA, we are attempting to increase opportunities for local farmers and producers to scale their operations by providing pathways to critical certifications and procurement opportunities here in the city. In partnership with NYC Small Business, SBS, we've been holding Jumpstart MWBE training and certification sessions with dozens of small food and farm businesses participating. This month, I'm happy to mention that we have launched NYC School Food Eats. EATS stands for Enhancing Accessibility, Training, and Support, as well as EATS. It is the city's first farmer and producer business procurement training. In collaboration with New York City Public Schools Office of Food and Nutrition Services and Cornell Cooperative Extension Harvest New York, this will be and is a multi-month program that was designed specifically for regional small to mid-scale food and farm businesses that are often left out of city vendor contract opportunities. This training offers critical knowledge, best practices, and resources to minimize barriers to New York City school food procurement process. New York City School Food Eats will strengthen the linkages within our regional food system and support historically disadvantaged farmers while increasing healthy, culturally relevant food supply in our city's cafeterias and classrooms. Our Reimagining Farm to School in NYC initiative, now in its second school year, provides funding opportunities for local urban gardeners, growers, and farmers to increase local food access and education for public school students in the classroom and on the farm. As you'll read in our annual progress report, this initiative is a 2-year pilot which New York City public school students ranging from elementary to high school grades are provided with the opportunity to build relationships with local urban farmers and learn directly about farm topics such as the seasonality of crops, the life cycle of food, and what it takes in the livelihood of a farmer, urban and rural. MUA is also exploring how to make local food more affordable and accessible. New York City is home to over 100+ community-supported agriculture sites, also known as CSAs, and other direct farm and consumer models. Providing resources and training to increase the number of sites and farm operations that can have that can accept and process SNAP EBT would provide additional opportunities for food insecurity community members to leverage their SNAP benefits to purchase locally fresh grown food. There are other benefits to utilizing SNAP. The USDA Economic Research Service has found that government programs that focus on low-income households, like SNAP, have a multiplier effect of up to $2 of economic activity per dollar spent. This favorably impacts our local economies in areas including production, processing, distribution, helping both our urban rural food systems and food insecure New Yorkers. Enabling access to fresh, healthy, affordable food, particularly in historically divested neighborhoods, as well as strengthening urban-rural linkages in our food supply, are top priorities of our office. Additionally, as mentioned in our annual progress report, we are working to enable better access to underutilized city-owned land for growers and existing and emerging small urban agriculture business enterprises. Increased land access will be critical to growing hyper-local food production in the city and must be done strategically so as not to compete with other critical land uses such as housing. We have created the Urban Agriculture Dashboard, which includes a mapping tool, and have incorporated the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, also known as DCAS, Local Law 48 of 2011, mandated suitability of city-owned and leased property for urban agriculture list in that dashboard. We are also in the planning stages for innovative land use agreements that would allow for a greater range of urban agriculture-based activity on city-owned land. So we're really thinking about land use as well as the contracts and agreements that help people activate on those city-owned properties and parcels of land. Another way we are pursuing increased local production, food production, is through the utilization of rooftop urban agrivoltaics, the symbiotic co-location of plants and solar energy production to spur rooftop development for both hyper-local food production, solar energy generation. Community access will be a top priority as we create these rooftop green spaces, as evidenced by the rooftop urban agrivoltaics pilot we will launch at a community site in Hell's Kitchen. Many growers in the city's urban ag community want to scale their operations into potential businesses and create and foster greater economic opportunity. And we believe we will do all we can and will do all we can to support them. Just a word about Intro 693, which would require the Mayor's Office of Urban Agriculture, in conjunction with relevant agencies and local community programs, to create and implement a plan to convert unused industrial areas in each of the 5 boroughs to sites that can host urban agriculture services, including hydroponic, food storage, food distribution, as well as other growing approaches. As I mentioned earlier, we at MUA are currently already engaged in an effort to map underutilized city-owned land, as well as to develop innovative land use agreements that would enable a range of urban agriculture services and activities on this land. We would be thrilled to work with you and city council members and, of course, community stakeholders to develop urban agriculture models, approaches, and opportunities in your districts. We feel strongly that this type of collaborative effort is what is called for and what would be more effective than an overall borough-based planning approach. This kind of district-based targeted approach would not necessitate legislation such as Introduction 693, but it would facilitate the sort of collaboration we feel would be most effective going forward. Thank you for the opportunity to testify again. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Great, thank you folks for your testimony, I appreciate it. I'm just gonna begin with some food governance questions and kind of talk about the MOFP. And I know it was created by executive order over a decade ago and codified into law last session. What have been the main achievements of the Mayor's Office of Food Policy since it was codified into law?
Since this is a question for the Mayor's Office of Food Policy, I'd like to direct that question to my colleague here, Rachel.
Sure.
Hello, Rachel Atchison, Deputy Director for Communications and Intergovernmental Affairs here at the Mayor's Office of Food Policy. So we are a coordinating body that coordinates with all of the agencies that serve food and touch food in some way. So that means school food, hospital food, jails, homeless shelters, and older adult centers. Those are our big buckets. We are very proud to have advanced the Good Food Purchasing Initiative that really increases transparency around food as it relates to the city. So right now you can actually go to nyc.gov/food and see an interactive dashboard where you can see all of our available data on where food is coming from the fiscal year that we started, so fiscal year 2019. We're very proud of a lot of the work that is done in the various offices that serve food around the city. Is there a particular agency that you're referring to? Because I'm happy to go into a broad overview, as a lot of agencies touch food, but if there's schools,
Yeah.
hospitals, jails, happy
I
to
think
speak to specific.
what I'd love to hear more about are the agencies that share the goals and have successes or challenges presented in front of them, and whether or not within those goals, do you as a coordinating agency create the overall comprehensive plan, or do each of the separate agencies have their own goals and their own plans to get to the
Yeah.
shared goal?
Absolutely. So let me speak briefly about our Food Forward plan, which is our 10-year plan. It's the first ever 10-year food policy plan, first issued in February 2021 under Executive Director Kate McKenzie. This plan outlines a comprehensive policy framework to reach a more equitable, sustainable, and healthy food system in 2031. Since the launch of Food Forward NYC, the city has made significant strides in increasing access for fresh produce and healthy food citywide. Revamping the Community Food Connection program has been key, as it now provides funding to over 700 community kitchens and food pantries, and introduced fresh produce for the first time. In fiscal year 23, the program saw more than 32.5 million visits and allocated nearly 47 million in food. The Department of Health runs a variety of nutrition security programs that improves access to fruits and vegetables for low-income New Yorkers at farmers markets, supermarkets, and bodegas, including Health Bucks, Get the Good Stuff, Groceries to Go, and Shop Healthy. Additionally, the Health and Hospitals Lifestyle Medicine Program increases access to healthy plant-based foods to individuals with chronic diseases. This year, the program expanded citywide, now serving up to 4,000 people with chronic diseases. In schools, Chef in the Schools and the Cafeteria Enhancement Program and Plant-Powered Fridays have made healthier scratch-cooked meals more accessible for 1.1 million New York public school students. And last year, the Department of Health revised its food standards to set minimum serving sizes for fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, requiring at least one serving of a plant-based entree featuring a whole or minimally processed plant-based protein weekly per meal type, and requiring the elimination of processed meats by 2025. These revisions have increased healthy food access to millions of New Yorkers in public schools, hospitals, correctional facilities, homeless shelters, and older adult centers. That's a little bit on what we are up to. We're also providing a briefing to all City Council members and staff virtually in the next few weeks. So also happy to go into detail then as well.
Great, thank you. We've also been joined by Councilmember Salamanca virtually. And then in terms of the related agencies, each that you just described, with development of strategic plans and monitoring these frameworks, how do we do that to make sure the goals are met in each one of them?
Absolutely. So we meet with all of our agencies that serve food at least quarterly through our Good Food Purchasing Initiative. It really depends on the sort of project we're working on. So for instance, within our jail system, we brought a culinary training to Rikers Island to increase and upskill the food service workers on the island. And we actually just sent out a press release about that last week. So for instance, with them, we're meeting every week. Every Friday at noon, we're getting on a call and talking with them consistently. And so it depends on the initiative that we're sort of advancing with these agencies, but it's pretty constant communication.
And how would you describe your role at MOFP in coordinating with the agencies?
We have a wonderful relationship with the agencies in coordination.
Okay. And how many full-time staff does MOFP currently have?
So we used to be an office under prior administrations of roughly 2. We are now an office of roughly 10. So this administration has prioritized giving us the resources we need to advance food policy under an Adams administration.
Okay, so it sounds like, but I'm going to ask anyway, this is enough staff to meet its needs and goals?
This is enough. Yes, we are sufficiently funded. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then what is the Mayor's Office of Food Policy's community engagement strategy? How do you folks work in food justice communities, folks that have inequitable access to healthy food, or often the low-income communities of color that we have throughout the city?
Yeah. So our work is mostly a behind-the-scenes approach in the sense of we are coordinating with the agencies that serve food. We are not directly interfacing with residents, for instance. So we really are heavily dependent on the agencies that do those interactions, so whether that's DSS, who works hand in hand with residents who are participating in SNAP, or with the Office of Food Nutrition Services, with school lunch, for instance, with the 7,000 workers that they have distributing school lunches. There's a multitude of sort of ways in which we have community engagement, and we're actually going to be giving a webinar in December on community engagement with the Public Engagement Unit.
And how often are you getting that feedback from food insecure communities, and how that's impacting the work, the goals, the strategic plan?
So we just this year implemented surveys as a part of our Good Food Purchasing initiative, where we're actually asking people to fill out surveys about their evaluation of the food. And so this is the first year that we are doing that, and we're excited to get some metrics, but this is the first year that will be our baseline.
Okay. And how are you measuring the combined impact of different food access programs like HealthBucks and SNAP in different neighborhoods?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. How are you folks measuring the combined impact of the different food access programs we have? For example, like HealthBucks and SNAP at the same time in the same neighborhoods?
Is it a question for the Office of Urban Agriculture or for food policy?
I'm happy for I have it specifically in my mayor's office of food policy questions,
Okay.
but
So
I'm happy to get feedback from both of you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy to share. Right now, we find that for the Office of Urban Agriculture, we've heard from stakeholders that oftentimes it's hard to gather community-driven data as well as connecting to it. So we've been creating an urban agriculture dashboard as well as developing tools that will create opportunities to gather their information. That means, in particular, not just from individuals and stakeholders, but also finding a way to get aggregate data from nonprofits that do direct consumer work in their models around CSAs and creating SNAP. So we feel like reaching out to governmental agencies as well as our community stakeholders that have that information is a good way to collect, compile, and aggregate that information to help inform the work of our office as well as other offices. But I'll pass the mic to MOFP.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I have questions around HealthBucks. Do we feel comfortable answering those?
Yeah, I can. Our colleague at the health department was not able to attend, so I have information about HealthBucks, though they do run the program.
Okay.
So happy to answer questions.
Great. A lot of folks in the Bronx are always really excited about the HealthBucks program. My district is particularly always excited about it since I've started doing the program in partnership with DOHMH. How are you coordinating with, how is DOH coordinating with the Office of Urban Agriculture to ensure food access initiatives complement rather than duplicate the work?
With the Office of Mayor's Office of Urban Agriculture, given our understanding relationships with urban ag stakeholders as well as regional partners, we try to utilize that information to inform better programs and activities to ensure that all farmers, no matter size, are able to have the mechanisms and tools in order to not just accept HealthBucks, but what we also do is help them understand the co-benefits of leveraging different funding mechanisms. So for us, what we've seen that really builds that multiplier effect is farmers as well as market managers having access and capacity to process multiple. So that could look like HealthBucks, that can look like other double up incentive programs, and again, as well as accepting SNAP at their CSA. I would also mention a lot of these models like to use community chef demos to use the healthy, fresh food to engage their community so they understand what they're using, why they can use their fresh food, why they can buy it directly from farmers. But also it gives them the chance to understand how they are able to stretch their dollar. So, this is information that we get, we leverage directly from the community and share into agency with partners, and we hope to continue to see increased activity and action with that activity and also the program and engagement.
Great. We've also been joined by Councilmember Vernikov. And then in terms of some of the data points, do we know the total distribution of health bucks through SNAP versus community-based organizations?
So in 2023, the health department distributed over 2.3 million worth of health bucks. Most health bucks were distributed through the SNAP incentive program at farmers markets. More than 845,000 health bucks worth over 1.69 million. Over 110,000 health bucks worth more than 220,000 distributed by more than 600 programs at community and faith-based organizations through their nutrition and health programming. Nearly 220,000 health bucks worth over 440,000 purchased and distributed by local elected officials and programs at city agencies. And in addition, in 2023, approximately 650,000 health bucks worth nearly 1.3 million were purchased and distributed by nonprofit organizations. So happy to repeat any of those numbers, as those were a lot of numbers.
We can bother you afterward for that.
Sounds great.
And do we know how many of those health bucks go unredeemed every fiscal year?
We do know that number. It varies year to year. The exact percentage, we'd have to get back to you after this hearing.
Okay, yeah. If you can give me like the last 3 years of how many go unredeemed, and we can do that average, that'd be great. And do we know how many vendors participate in the program from year to year, or if there's a consistency?
We would have to get back to you after this.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to get back to you with exact numbers.
That's fine, thank you. And do we know if there's any specific challenges that we've encountered in expanding vendor participation in the Health Bucks program? Any solutions we're looking at developing, if so?
Yes, there are, hold on one second. In terms of some challenges, there is digital integration. So as we, for instance, with school food, we are moving away from paper logbooks to a digital system. As we're doing in other agencies, we are also doing that. We're also exploring that with Health Bucks with digital integration. So it's still something we're digging into.
And what about reimbursement or repayment to the vendors? For example, last fiscal year, I gave over $25,000 worth of health bucks out in the district. What I realized about week 3 into our green market program was vendors were a little bit frustrated in that they were saying to me that they'd have to wait about 30 days to get reimbursement. So we kind of had to readapt our strategy and how we were engaging the community on it, because most folks were not necessarily, like vendors were not leaving with cash day of or end of week. They were having to wait on a reimbursement. And so I'd like to know how we're trying to work, whether that's with digital integration or do the subcontracting or the repayment to vendors, and how to expedite those, because we want people to have access to fresh and healthy food, especially if there's an economic need that we're trying to serve with the Health Bucks program. And I also don't want any of our farmers and vendors to not get paid for 30 to 45 days.
Right.
So can you speak a little bit to that?
So because we do not, Mayor's Office of Food Policy does not run the program, I can't speak in detail. Sure. We definitely have heard this concern, and we'll bring it back to our health department colleagues. And I think through potentially that digital integration work, that we might find a way to move that needle faster.
That'd be great. You can let them know. I'll definitely be following up, because I'd like to keep talking about that. How are you measuring progress on the Food Forward NYC plan's goals related to fresh produce access?
Yeah, so we had so we put out the report 3 years ago now, and have copies available for anyone who wants one. We put out our progress report last summer, so almost a year and a half ago. We are working on our next progress report, which will be out this coming summer. Again, some of that, the dashboard work is on our website at nyc.gov/food. Others is integrated and linked through our website. So we are trying to be as transparent as possible, as we know that this is an important need.
And what specific barriers have you identified, if any, in expanding fresh food access in underserved communities?
I'm happy to go.
Sure.
Some of the challenges in expanding access has been, one, capacity. Oftentimes, community stakeholders and partners are stretched capacity-wise in funding. I think one of the solutions that we continue to do in our office, since we can't give grants out, we increase their awareness of existing programs, city, state, and federal, that can support their ongoing work and support capacity, such as the New York State Fresh Connect program, which offers funding towards capacity for electronic equipment, as well as building out your own farmers market, community-run farmers market, and actually paying for staff. Other barriers that we hear folks have is access to land to grow, as well as land to be able to distribute. So again, that goes back to our priorities on not, one, identifying ways to build economic opportunities for anyone in our stakeholder community, for volunteers, to commercial businesses and even emerging ones, but also identifying underutilized land in the city that could be activated for growing, education, and other climate resilient space. So these are just some of the barriers that stakeholders continue to find themselves in, that we feel is informing the priorities of the office, how we move forward. One last thing I would mention too is one of the innovative initiatives that I had mentioned earlier is that agrivoltaics pilot, is to help find a way for the city to have a way to address the needs of capital needs, as well as food security, and again, supporting hyperlocal production. Another initiative with Reimagining Farm to School in NYC, the reason why we started that work in conjunction with OF&S was we realized that they were community partners in our community gardens. Our urban gardens and growers are vibrant, active spaces that are growing food and educating community, but historically haven't always had the direct connections with their school gardens and school communities. The reimagining work has connected ag education in the classroom and also on the farm, so students in their walking distance from home or community knew that there were farmers that were growing food in their community, as well as creating additional opportunities for food access from regional farmers. Within that work, again, that training component also comes in. The funding that we've been able to leverage from the state and the federal around Farm to School has given us the opportunity to support nonprofits, organizations that support urban growing and food production directly to the farmers themselves on the sites themselves in their community, as well as supporting emerging farm businesses, because that is, again, part of what we realize that we need is to grow food here, but we also need to create economic opportunities for them to be able to sell into the city. So these this training gives them the chance to have a better understanding on increasing their local food into our system. We see that while it's still in a pilot, we've seen some great success that is outlined in the progress report, but what we continue to look forward to is making better, stronger connections to good food purchasing, because if we're talking about valued added procurement and valued added producers, it starts with historically disadvantaged farmers. And what New Yorkers want to see is them be a part of the fabric of success in New York City, and we need our hyper-local farmers, growers, indoors and outdoors, as well as our regional partners to be small to mid-scale businesses to be a part of that success. So we believe that this initiative will only be able to scale in order to bring in further impact.
And just to add on, as we share the interest with MOUA on growing food, there's also the retail component. So just bringing your attention to Fresh, which you are aware of, but for those who are live streaming, the food retail expansion program to support health, called Fresh, supports the development and retention of groceries in low-income communities where there's both a high need for access to fresh food and limited access to grocery stores. This is achieved through both financial incentives through EDC and zoning initiatives through DCP given to participating groceries who must fall within the eligible land area and be leased by a full-service grocery operator after construction or renovation is completed. There are currently 42 Fresh supermarkets and 17 in development. There are approximately 1.5 million New Yorkers within a half-mile radius of the 42 open Fresh supermarkets. This is an uptick, and we're excited to see this expand.
Yeah. Can I add a little bit about Fresh? This is in its early stages, but we've been talking to DCP to circle back on what are the opportunities that might be being missed in Fresh, the Fresh program. One of the avenues we've heard and seen, and we want to continue to explore with them, is the opportunity for this incentive to go towards cooperatives, food cooperatives, regional cooperatives, even farm hubs. And if folks aren't familiar with farm hubs, sometimes communities or neighborhoods, maybe grocery retail is not the best fit for their scale of product. And again, we're continuing to try to find ways to support our regional hyper-local farmers. Farm hubs or cooperatives give the opportunity for community to access in a retail capacity locally grown and regional produce as well as other value-added products. So one of the things that we're continuing to explore with them is this is an incentive that can actually support our regional food supply system.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our food access and affordability working group that a colleague, Lauren Drumgold, runs, and they're coming out with a research agenda before the end of the year. We're really excited about it, and we'll be circulating it for sure.
Thank you both for that thorough response. I appreciate it. I have a lot of thoughts running through my head, but I'm going to reserve my time for now and go to councilmember questions. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Nurse, followed by Vernikov, then Bottcher.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for your testimony.
Sure.
Sorry, I was I was revisiting your testimony. I was looking for the Urban Ag dashboard. Sometimes it's hard to find stuff on city websites. So I was like, where is it?
Happy to help.
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons we came up with this bill is because although sometimes goals are set by the city and things are written in reports, recommendations, oftentimes when we face financial situations, stuff like this becomes some of the first things to get put on the chopping block. And so while I recognize that there is work happening, sometimes it's important to codify certain things to ensure that they do happen. And by the way, even when we pass laws, it doesn't mean it happens, right? So this is just another form of accountability. So I just wanted to acknowledge that in your testimony, but, and I do recognize some of the land use work you all have done. What our legislation is looking at is the industrial spaces that are across the city. You know, we have the industrial action plan that actually was led by Councilmember Farias and my neighboring Councilmember Gutierrez. We were part of that coalition. I have a 130-acre industrial business zone that has a lot of public property in it that is inside, yes, warehouse space and not just open lots. And the challenge here is the cost of rent, right? Like, city land that is a parcel could be great for a community garden, and that's wonderful, but not all community gardens are looking for production at a certain volume.
Right.
And so we're looking at, for like operations that want to set up scaled production, yes, or added value, how do we make that available at an affordable rate? We worked with EDC on an RFP that went out, and there's some folks here who applied for that. It's really challenging, right? Because yes, people need to scale up and cost is so high for everything. And so the intention of this is to try to see what can we identify that could be specifically marketed for those kinds of operations that would like to scale up, that aren't just doing education, that are like, we want to produce
Absolutely.
and we want to sell, and we have some clients, we want to sell to the city, we
Yeah.
want to sell to schools and hospitals and senior centers, reduce our impact, all of that. And so I'm curious for what you've mapped out, how many of sites that you think would be appropriate for urban agriculture are in the manufacturing zones, or indoors in the city-owned, in terms of the portfolio of what the city has available?
Sure. Before I answer that question, I just wanted to echo our interest and support. I think we're mutually aligned on wanting to increase and foster economic opportunities through urban ag. You know, I think we're both on the same page on seeing that there is a need for scaled food production as well as other climate resilient measures. But in order for that to really happen, we need partners that are practitioners that are trained and know about urban agriculture from growing to production to logistics to be able to see themselves in becoming the businesses that they need to scale not just their food production, but also their operations. Absolutely.
So
So,
same page.
no,
about
we're on
that
the
for
same
sure.
page.
People need
So-
to like have real capacity.
yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, for the Office of Urban Agriculture, what we hear and see in order to do that work, and I think we can continue to do that work together in a targeted approach, is identifying the land that is suitable for urban ag. In order to do that, there needs to be an urban agriculture criterion that really help to look at the underutilized land beyond the existing mandates of other agencies. And that is something that is in our wheelhouse and we're continuing to build. So in terms of sites, we've currently we're leveraging the DCAS and inventory on sites. Additional research is to build a criterion in order to look at it for the uses that we're considering. But I think it's also important to not just talk about the access to land, and you definitely mentioned the need and the cost. There's two things there. One is if we're supporting viable small to mid-scale businesses, and is the city also creating the opportunities for them? And that is where some of our pathways work is happening with MWBEs, helping folks understand in order to do the work that they want on the ground, they're going to have to be in entities that are able to create and make good social mission profit.
Yeah.
The other thing is the awareness of how to identify funds to purchase land and continue your operations. As much as scaled hyperlocal food production can be, they're going to need additional support. And what we look to as an Office of Urban Agriculture are our existing resources and partnerships and in economic opportunities and grants and other funding mechanisms at the state and federal level. And those partnerships help us understand what is relevant to the scale of partners, whether they're in the pipeline to become a business or already. So the question in particular around indoor, we've seen a great, robust ag tech sector in an indoor population, and I think we'll continue to see sites grow. However, in order for this to truly be equitable and sustainable, and for it to support skilled food production in the city, we're going to need New Yorkers to be a part of the sector of indoor growing and be a part of innovative production. And we think that the programs and pilots that we're providing will create the opportunities to be able to readily or be primed to access land, as well as be in the right entities to be eligible for the other supports that they need to move the work that they want to, indoor as well as outdoor.
Yeah, and
Models.
so two parts of that. One, I think, yes, there are mission-oriented groups that want to do that work, and there's also businesses that know
Yes.
already they got some stuff going. We've seen some success stories in the city.
Yes.
And those are two different approaches to work, but there's still the question of available space and
Yes,
just the cost of
absolutely.
it, and where EDC specifically has indoor industrial space that could lend itself towards being a part of jumpstarting that and
Yes.
saturating. Let's saturate food production in addition to what we're doing. So I
Yes.
guess I'm just wondering if to your knowledge, if you don't have it today, that's fine. If anything that you all have identified in the inventory is in some of these warehouse spaces.
Well, as you mentioned, this has been the work of EDC. So since they're not here, I would rather get their detailed information in addition to any of the additional research we're able to find from the office in order to answer that question best. But happy to continue to follow up.
Okay. I saw that the October 2023 report has developed a feasibility study with EDC targeting East New York with the goal of identifying underutilized city-owned land and developing innovative licensing and land use agreements. Can you tell us a little bit more about this work and kind of what are the results of it, or what are some of the challenges you identified?
Sure. So what we had mentioned in the 2023 report was the start of the feasibility study with EDC. So this is some of that additional work and the stages that we're talking about. So in the progress report, the 2024 progress report, what we did is kind of we continue to work with them to explore how to move that forward. I know they've already did their own action plan and strategy around certain areas in particular. I don't want to speak to their work directly. All I can say to that is we're continuing to work with them on any additional work around urban ag and criterions to make it more relevant. But in the progress report, we're continuing to identify other elements in that inventory that could also be suitable for underutilized urban ag production. And when we say production, it's not just the growing of food, it's also identifying the space for processing, dry and cold storage,
everything,
distribution as well. Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so just to clarify, you're in a stage of, like, you've identified that you're developing the study, but has the study been started, or just to clarify, like,
the study has taken some pivots as we've seen we need to continue and explore one, the land, two, building and refining that urban ag criterion, and then three, any additional environmental elements and awareness that we need to have. So those things take time, and we're just trying to be pragmatic about our approach to the research as well as developing the study.
I don't know. I don't really necessarily have a question about this, but a comment. I know that the mayor's executive order 43 for everybody to be looking for sites for housing potentially can very much conflict with this, and not in every case, but in some cases where there might be some competing interests. And I think that's why, where we have in industrial zone and protected and ideally mapped core industrial spaces, we might be able to really identify and hone in on those areas, which is what the bill is focused on, is those particular areas versus where housing isn't appropriate if we're trying to protect some of our core industrial space. I don't know if, I guess my question would be, like, do you see a conflict there where it comes to industrial sites, or in terms of the goals of identifying more places for urban ag, or do you, to me, I don't think there's a conflict, but it is mentioned in your testimony, so maybe you could just share a little bit more about what you thought.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was like commenting and kind of questioning, but the order is saying we need to find housing. Let's look at every city-owned parcel we have that can be utilized for housing. At the same time, you all are trying to identify city-owned parcels for urban agriculture.
Yes.
My comment is, I don't think there's a conflict because our bill is specific to industrial zones.
Yes.
But it could be, depending on the nature of how this order plays out once things are identified. So I guess I was just wondering, since you did mention it in your testimony, that local food production in the city must be done strategically so as not to compete with other critical land uses such as housing. Do you think we'd run into some major problems at all if we were to move forward on legislation like this?
There's a few questions there, and I'll try to unpack. For the one of our priorities for the Office of Urban Agriculture is to identify the both and, meaning how do we use urban agriculture to be a solution for multiple needs that the city is trying to address. So in terms of looking at city-owned property, that is where the underutilized piece comes in this is why it's taken a little bit longer to look at the urban ag criteria in order to build that and refine it so we minimize any conflicts and ensuring that what we're looking at are not sites that are identified now or later for other uses and needs because the city has multiple. But we do feel that food is one of those critical elements. So that's why our initiatives are focused on looking at land, economic opportunity, community impact, as well as the intersections of both. So one of the impetus of the agrivoltaics pilot was to help address that. While we're looking at city-owned land, in the current inventory, are we also building other pilots that can say, look up, not just down? Are we looking at places that we can grow indoor and on rooftops and all those different ways so we can still grow food but still address the needs? Because to us, housing is going to be an issue, but you can have housing and growing.
Yeah.
We can have housing and climate resiliency. We shouldn't see it as siloed. We see ourselves as an office that can work well and collaborate interagency to help inform how to bring that intersectional environmental, racial, and economic equity lens to work that's already moving at other agencies. So I think in that way, to answer the question, I don't see our work moving forward to be in conflict. If anything, it helps support, identify how to better utilize land that maybe hasn't, and different ways to meet multiple needs. But to speak on Executive Order 43, we understand and hear the community's concerns around this executive order. Currently, as an Office of Urban Agriculture, we haven't heard of any particular plans as of yet that the city is going to displace gardens as a result. But again, we feel that growing space is critical. That's why we're looking at it in different ways. And we're exploring innovative approaches to continue to support the facilitation of urban ag models in the city.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. I'd also like to recognize that we've been joined by Councilmember Brewer, and I'd pass it over to Councilmember Vernikoff.
Well, I certainly know how wonderful you are and coming to all the schools, and it was nice to see you at...
Sorry, Councilmember Brewer, I was just acknowledging you, and
Oh.
you're third in line. You sure?
Sorry,
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
No. Councilmember Vernikoff, please continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, ladies. All right, so as we discussed here, Introduction 693 would require a plan to convert unused industrial areas to urban agriculture by January 1st, 2026. My first question is, what initial steps would you take to begin developing the plan?
I'm so sorry. Can you
Not hear me?
repeat the question? Is this not clear for me?
Sure. What initial steps would you take to begin developing this plan to complete it by January 1st, 2026?
Oh, so we've already started. I think the next steps are the continued research on building and refining the urban ag criterion, identifying any additional needs around land use, any future needs for that, and also any environmental protections. We'll continue to have to be informed by other agencies around that as well. But this is work that's already started. I do feel like we'll be able to meet our goal of January 26th.
Okay, and do you have sufficient staff capacity as well?
While we would always welcome additional staff capacity and resources, I feel like we are on scale to meet our goals with the staff we have, but again, would love and appreciate any additional capacity and resources to the Office of Urban Ag.
Okay, and which agencies would you be working most closely with?
With the plan, I believe that would be, one, we're open to interagency collaboration Our current immediate partners would likely be our DEP agency, DOT, EDC, but I think there's others that we will continue to be informed by and engage with.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Bodger.
Hi.
Hi.
In a district like the one I represent, one thing that we don't have a lot of is vacant land.
Mhm.
But if you stand on a rooftop and look around, you see miles of open space in the form of rooftops.
Yes.
And to me, when I look at the rooftops of our district, it's such an underutilized asset. What can be done? What more can be done to get folks to use, building owners to use their rooftops for urban agriculture?
Thank you. It's a great question. We had this similar question. The Office on Urban Agriculture feels in order to facilitate or encourage more activity on green rooftops, in particular agriculture production, and solar, other climate resilient needs, it needs to have a feasibility. There needs to be an approach that feels feasible, no matter the scale and size of the roof. There are some basic guidelines that they're going to need to consider in terms of capacity of growing, capacity of weight bearing. These are some of the elements that we identified and have incorporated in our urban agriculture pilot program. So we're taking a two-pronged approach to that program. It's one, looking from a city perspective, but also looking with community-based institutions on how we can learn with them on what is needed. But yes, there's definitely funding, of course, but first and foremost is making sure that these rooftops are feasible for any additional weight-bearing use and activity. And then some of those practical matters, as well as how to identify community engagement and access. So we think there's a pathway forward. That's why we're so excited about starting this pilot. So we continue to look forward to gathering more information and sharing. And again, I think this is part of our approach on thinking about how to approach issues at a citywide level, but building initiatives and approaches that we can work targeted with city council members as well. Nobody knows your districts better than yourselves, other than the community members.
When we redesign parks, which every so often we have the opportunity to do a visioning session with the community, it's not often discussed the idea of having like urban agriculture in a New York City public park. Are there models for that, New York City public parks that have urban agriculture, community gardens, and do you work with the Parks Department?
Oh, yes.
Inspect and when new parks are being designed, are you at the table to kind of advocate for having like gardens, like vegetable gardens and such, included in these new designs?
That's a great question. Being a new office, I would say we haven't historically been at the table only because we're new, but this is a conversation that we continue to look forward to engaging. We have a great relationship with parks as well as their community garden department, Green Thumb. So for us, we see as working in tandem on how to support green spaces in New York City. We're also, again, as an Office of Urban Agriculture, thinking about how we can protect and foster existing green spaces, protect and foster growing green spaces, but are there underutilized potential in other spaces for urban agriculture? We think so, and we'll continue to work with agency partners as well as community to move that forward. But I think the short answer is not yet, but I think we have initiatives and avenues that make that partnership probably work well in the future and continue to do so.
I think there's a lot of potential in New York City public parks. We've got a good amount of urban agriculture and community gardens. We don't have a lot of community gardens in our district. In fact, we have very few.
Yes.
But we do have public parks, and I can envision urban agriculture happening more in our New York City public parks.
Yes, I mean, we're open to continuing to explore what parks, any ways they want to activate innovative use in their inventory. I think what you're bringing up too, which is important, is not every district has current green space, but what we as an Office of Urban Agriculture envision is that there are multiple models in the breadth of urban agriculture that can support climate resiliency, food production, community engagement, education, and wellness. So it can look like what's currently in our inventory, but again, this is why we look around and look up and we listen to community partners to really understand what is needed in community that can bring in the models and support those models so they can be sustainable long-term, but also community engaged. Community is really important, but the breadth of urban agriculture also includes, again, emerging businesses and existing businesses. So even if there's districts that don't have existing growing green spaces, I'm sure there's ways that we can be innovative in looking at underutilized parcels of land. They don't have to be perfect. They just need to be suitable for certain urban agricultural work. But also there's different models that are able to be done. So one of the things that we also look at are there new models beyond community gardens that can continue to expand in our city to really increase urban agriculture, aquaponics, hydroponics, food forests, like these are some of the things. And again, taking time to build that criterion so it makes it easier to move that work forward and be relevant to the district needs and community needs in that area.
And just to add on there, while sometimes various community districts do not have as many community gardens, for instance, we are, through our food education roadmap work, integrating more both urban agriculture and just food education broadly into as many New York City public schools as possible. So while we might not be seeing it as many places, sometimes it is behind the walls of school buildings that we do actually have some access.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm really glad you mentioned that. I almost totally forgot it. I'd be remiss to not mention school and learning gardens. Councilmember Brewer and I recently were on our rooftop of their high school environmental studies thinking about that. One of the things that the Office of Urban Agriculture through our Reimagining Farm to School initiative is considering is how to activate a green space and growing space and increasing the square footage. And school and learning gardens are able to do just that. We've had some, again, initial success with creating the education program through Reimagining Farm to School, connecting school gardeners, and we tell them they are the climate stewards of the future to their existing urban farmers. But again, there's some untapped school gardens, kind of similar what you were saying, Councilmember, about in your district. There's school and learning gardens that could probably be activated more. And in order to do that, it's not just having the access to land, it's having relevant agreements and contracts that urban agriculture practitioners are eligible for, that the city can provide, that will create not just the green space to go from underutilized or fallow to active, but you need the labor to do so. And it's oftentimes done by the volunteers, or students, or teachers, or even our community gardeners. But to really make this sustainable and to really increase the scaled food production, we want to see the scaled education of climate and agriculture education. We need to continue to create more agreements and contracts that are relevant for emerging businesses and enterprises that are rooted in climate and education. I think we have a lot of great urban agriculture stakeholders right now. There's some here behind me, but again, we need more folks to feel like they are part of New York City's success, not just in their sweat equity, but in their business opportunities. And if they don't feel like they can create a business, then we're missing out. And so again, I think for our office, it's kind of building different initiatives that support our partners at different stages, but also inform and work with other city agencies to move our larger initiatives forward. And school gardens, I think, have been somewhat under-tapped. Not due to their great community partners doing that work and other existing initiatives, but we see a lot of great potential of scaling up food production and education, and we think with more continued work in the reimagining, we'll be able to reimagine school and learning gardens in the city.
Thank you so much for recognizing Councilmember Brewer.
Well, thank you for being a rock star. That's what you are.
Thank you, Councilmember Brewer.
A couple of things. First of all, on the school roofs, obviously, I'm very familiar with not only environmental studies, but PS 84, which, as you probably know, just got a huge grant, and they now have apple trees with 60 apples on every tree, and a full-time gardener. So it's really working. Unbelievable science, unbelievable horticulture, and sustainable.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's perhaps the best, but Randall's Island, Battery Park, Roosevelt Island, in terms of their school in particular, 145th Street, BROSIS organization for young people.
Absolutely.
They're all doing it. But I do want to make sure that the chickens are in every single one. I'm very big on chickens. I want chickens at every single garden. You get the eggs.
Yes.
I just wish that we would change the law and have roosters, but I may be the only person who cares about roosters. I do want to say, though, is there a concerted effort at the Department of Education by you or others pushing to figure out which roofs would be available? In other words, sometimes parents and teachers and students
Yes.
figure it out, but is there like a concerted effort to say X number more roofs are available?
Yes, that's a great question, Councilmember. Thank you. Yes, there's been a concerted effort and additional research with our office and other agencies like DOE and School Construction Authority, as well as DCAS Innovation, to assess and consider what could potentially be rooftops in schools in particular. And again, our urban agrivoltaics pilot program is helping also build a feasibility plan and approach for not just other additional cities buildings to consider if they're able to do ag production as well as solar production and other climate mitigation like stormwater mitigation, but we're also creating an avenue where we're supporting community-based organizations or other developers, landlords that have the ownership of their building to kind of see that as well.
But in terms of the public buildings, is
Yes.
there an actual dashboard or some kind of a report as to how many are available at blah, blah, blah?
So there's current research happening. It's not in a dashboard just yet, but these are some of the avenues that we're continuing to explore with our agency partners on how to share that information more.
You can get the drones, you could get CAS's drones and
But
check.
yes, if there is
Give them
additional, I
something
will-
else to do. Right, give Kaz Doherty's drone something else to do. I'll suggest that to him. The hydroponics, I think I did the first one at PS 333. And so the question is, they're great, but you know what? DOE won't allow the salad or the lettuce or the fish at Food and Finance to go into the lunch for the students. Is that something that we could work on? In other words, I don't understand why, but I guess they're afraid it's not been cleared by some god that the lettuce and the fish can't go into the student lunch. Is there anything we can do about that?
I think, I don't want to speak for school food in this.
I can. They don't allow it.
Okay, no, yes. I'm aware of the current barriers. I think for the Office of Urban Agriculture in our partnership with School Food.
We love Chris. We love Chris. But
Love Chris. Love Chris. Big fan of Chris. But what I do think that we need to do is first understand how to support the process of food coming into our schools and making sure that if we're creating opportunities for food security, like donated food, and if that food can come in, are we also making food procurement opportunities for the small to mid-scale businesses as well, indoors as well as other soil-based or rural growers. So I think it's a conversation that's worth continuing to have, how to expand our salad bar, but I do think there are, and I think these partners like Sunworks and Teens for Food Justice, Edible Schoolyard, but the ones that are doing hydroponic in particular, since you asked, I think there's great avenues that we've learned and seen that they are able to get food and taste testings and cooking demos. And I think for food security, those are really good ways for that food to get to families as well as the students.
Okay.
In terms of salad bar opportunities, I don't think we need to preclude them, but I think the untapped potential are existing businesses, small hyper-local to rural partners that are more primed for procurement contracts and are more eligible to be able to get more of their local regional food in our salad bars. That's one of the elements of our training that we're looking into.
That's my other question, of course. You're talking about the city, I'm talking about the state.
Yes.
So, we have the DCAS law that passed that says City of New York has to buy the best possible effort, as opposed to mandated, I wasn't able to do that legally, purchase locally.
Yes.
So you're dealing slightly different area, but do you think that DCAS, they haven't given us their reports that they're supposed to on a regular basis, how much are they purchasing, which agencies they're going to, et cetera. But do you have any sense that DCAS is trying to make more of an effort to purchase locally? Does that help in terms of your efforts?
I can't speak to DCAS's work in particular, but what I can say is the work that we're doing, the research information, and also the growing network of eligible businesses that have fresh food supply. This is the information that we have and continue to share with any of our agency partners and any of their complementary or supplemental research and work.
Okay. And then on the other issue is processing facilities.
Yes.
So we've talked about this in the past. Can you update us if there's any indication of, because without processing, then some of the urban agriculture, not to mention the, Ulster County agriculture, is not going to be able to be sold to at least to the schools or Rikers Island and so on. So I just was wanting to get a update on processing facilities. There is a funny story, which is I want this lettuce processing machine. I've been trying to get it for 20 years. I get nothing. And so the state commissioner gave me a little tiny one for my kitchen. That wasn't very helpful. So I'm wondering if we're getting anywhere on processing facilities.
So again, I don't want to speak to other agencies and their work around infrastructure, but what the Office of Urban Agriculture, in conjunction with our other offices like food policy, can continue and inform what is the need of green food and value chain infrastructure for processing. What I can say is oftentimes I hear from urban ag stakeholders, they've been doing great work in their nonprofits and for-profit businesses in their community around trying to build processing opportunities. But again, in terms of facilities, I can't speak to larger agencies around their facility needs, but what we're continuing to do as an Office of Urban Ag is identify the needs of our stakeholders to help inform those conversations. So when that infrastructure comes, it's relevant to the stakeholders that we need. So if we're thinking about infrastructure within our city, but to support small businesses, rural and otherwise, that those facilities need to be scaled to those small businesses. And those are the partners we're continuing to build in our MWBE work, our city's training program with food operators and distributors. So we're getting a lot of great relevant information that we're happy to share that can inform infrastructure at from the city up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Council Member.
Thank you folks so much. I'm going to go back to some of the questions I have for the Office of Urban Agriculture. I try to be equitable with time so folks don't have to wait on me to go through the entire docket of questions. So thank you for writing this out with us. Just some quick burst ones. Since the office's establishment last year, how many urban agriculture projects have you helped facilitate?
Do you mean, just to clarify, initiatives or particular projects?
If you can give us both, that would be helpful. If initiatives that we have throughout the city, or if there are a handful of projects. I know I was briefly looking through the report.
So in the past 2 years, we've established 7 different initiatives around urban agriculture and innovative production that supports economic development as well as other urban agriculture models. However, within those initiatives, they're designed to leverage our city's office to support the breadth of urban ag stakeholders. So that number is a little bit larger than that. So while there's 7 overall initiatives, there's different ways that we have been supporting partners. So for instance, the NYC Food Eats training, with the current funding that we have, we were able to support 9 food and food hub businesses within that training. With additional scaling moving forward, we expect to support more. Through our work on reimagining farm to school, we connected with four urban gardens and 1 rural farmer. But again, the learning doesn't just stop at that project. It also continues with what we're able to do. Sorry, I'm getting a little hot. There's one concrete example that I could probably support. In the Reimagining Farm to School initiative with our current pilot program, we were able, with that $200,000 funding, state and federal, to leverage 16 different city-based contracts for nonprofit partners, urban growers, food and farm businesses. But in terms of the impact, we would need to continue to talk to our partners. But what I can share is beyond that, we worked with that initiative, a few thousand students in the 5 boroughs. With our school and farm visits, students were able to bring their families, and then they said they were coming back to the farm. So I can say right now we're at a smaller scale in terms of projects and initiatives, but what we've seen is the way we approach our initiatives, the impact goes further into the community and supports existing stakeholders and the work they're doing already.
And what's the current process for identifying potential sites for urban agriculture? And do we have the type of metrics that we're using to measure the environmental benefits of those projects?
Well, we spoke earlier about that I testified earlier in terms of the additional criterion and research needed for the sites.
Sure.
However, in terms of measuring urban agriculture impact, what we have heard from stakeholders is there's not comprehensive information. There's information in different places, or has been researched in different ways. What the office is focusing on is building a community-driven, stakeholder-driven approach to gathering that information, so we're able to engage with our community stakeholders or business stakeholders directly to scale that work. So that's in its early phases, but I'm proud to say that we're looking forward to launching our first New York City comprehensive beta map in the winter, and early January 25, continuing our community and business stakeholder activities on how to build off the existing beta map information that we do have in order to identify with them the metrics and criterion that the city is missing to really speak to urban ag scale, production, impact, and potential. And work with them to build those measures. And we're kicking off that work early January 2025.
That's great to hear. How are you working to ensure urban agriculture projects are economically sustainable beyond the initial grant funding?
The projects themselves, yes. So, sorry, let me get a little order.
Okay. Yeah, take your time.
I'll use this minute to actually go back to impact on climate. Oh, go for it.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. How are you working to ensure urban agriculture projects are economically sustainable beyond the initial grant funding?
Yes. So what the Office of Urban Agriculture is continuing to look for is additional diversity of funding for our projects. Again, we start with trying to take or integrating cost-neutral approaches that could either work directly with the leadership of our office, find ways to integrate into other existing interagency projects, and then also when we do need additional funding, we continue to explore funding through the city, state, federal channels, as well as additional public-private partnerships.
Okay, and what partnerships have you developed with agricultural experts and organizations? Which partnerships? What partnerships have you folks developed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the breadth of stakeholders, we continue to be informed and engage with our community stakeholders on how their work can continue to be furthered on the ground up in their community gardens. So we've created opportunities to support any events and activities. We've also created community funding where since we're not able to directly give funding, we provide funding roundups and awareness around existing fundings that they're eligible for, and continue to support and inform them in any ways that they can get funding for themselves for their projects. In terms of other partnerships, we explore ways to support businesses through our free sessions around supporting their starting to business. We've identified pathways to create access to more city procurement contracts and agreements, and we'll continue to expand that in order to support partnerships in their work. And then again, continuing to identify with business partners what are ways that speak to their needs around engagement. That tends to look like testimony or hearing and other advocacy around other initiatives. So we continue to help inform on the inside our interagency partners as well as businesses to inform that their needs are at other agendas.
Great. And then what role do you see for emerging technologies like vertical farming and hydroponics in New York City's urban agricultural landscape? I know you've spoken a little bit about this. I think all of us, if not most of us in the council, have put in hydroponic labs somewhere in a school or multiple schools. We're looking at, at least for myself, I'm looking at ways to use our recreation centers and community centers to also be coupled with that technology, but even looking at like my NYCHA campuses and where we can create an urban farm or where we can utilize some of these technologies. So where do you see a role for them?
Oh yeah, so urban ag tech, hydroponics, vertical farming, other controlled environment models are a part of the breadth of urban agriculture in New York City. So while we continue to support the existing partners and businesses and nonprofits that are doing this work and finding ways to explore in different city agencies or again on different city land, part of our work is also to ensure that we're creating opportunities in the controlled environment sector for folks of color, low income, so they have affordable, scalable models in the controlled environment. What we've heard from partners in this controlled environment arena is they need access to land. So this continues to support our work, not just in schools, but also in city properties like NYCHA and other underutilized land, including industrial areas that we're continuing to see if they're suitable for innovative models in controlled environments, indoor and outdoor. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, but we do see that there are viable needs. Other things that we've explored and will continue to try to support is the relationship building that can happen within communities and looking at underutilized land in different ways. So it doesn't have to just be the parcel of land. It can also be underutilized centers, spaces, like you said, like rec centers. We've seen businesses as well as community start controlled environment work, say not just hydroponic and leafy vegetables, but also in mushrooms. So we continue to try to share resources and information with these partners so they, again, see themselves in the fabric of work and see how they can work and engage with other city agencies and other city sites to expand the work around urban agriculture in the city.
Yeah, I think a lot of us in the council would like to keep tabs on that and work in coalition on that. A lot of us before coming into the council worked throughout the pandemic on fighting food insecurity, on mutual aid efforts. And what was most beneficial from, I think, that moment in time that we were in that still exists in some sort of framework in our communities throughout the city was there was this integratable communicating system of people that were moving food, moving produce, moving support. And I think when we're looking at our communities' infrastructures right now, we have these one-off siloed spaces that aren't really working with one another or talking with one another. I use a community garden and a school as an example in my district all the time. If it weren't for me talking to the community garden volunteers and the principals in the school, two institutions that are literally across the street, the school has a community fridge and the garden is growing food. And just that natural partnership of like, hi, when there's excess, you have permission to put it into the fridge. is now helping adding to the
Absolutely.
value in that area. So, and that's like a one-off example of volunteerism, but we definitely want to start seeing where we're growing food, talking to the schools in the lab that are growing food, talking to the food that's on the plate of the students or the
Absolutely.
seniors or in our homes. So we definitely all want to be in communication on that.
Yes. I'd love to stay in touch and hear from your districts what you're seeing, but your example is a great example and one of the impetus on why Reimagining Farm to School was built in the way that it was. Because like you said, oftentimes there's siloed partners. We all eat. Some of us need more security in our food or more access. But beyond food security, we also need to support food sovereignty in New York City. So when I say that, it's not just the access to food and culturally relevant food and local food or even donated food, it's ensuring that we have different models that are working together and that the city is supporting that, not just from the top down, but from the bottom up. And I think the Office of Urban Agriculture, given our relationships and background with our Urban Ag partners, we kind of see these silos and again, build initiatives that directly connect. So like the Reimagining Farm to School, it was one of, again, beyond what is, we have seen that there were partners like community gardens not connected to their school partners. So we created that initiative to kind of help foster that relationship, not just in the sharing of education, but also, and the sharing of food, but also just the awareness that there are other practitioners doing work to support urban agriculture, food production in the community, of and by the community. So for us in the Office of Urban Agriculture, we're here to support the city's existing efforts around food security, but we really feel like there's a continued need to build that intersection, but we need New Yorkers of all scale. We need New Yorkers of all food security measures to feel like they can be a part of that work. And so with us, we see that our initiatives are building that interagency connective tissue to inform our agency partners, but build better pathways for our nonprofit partners, our volunteers, and businesses to be able to be a part of the city's success.
And to build on the ecosystem approach through the food education roadmap, last year we distributed grants. For last year was $11,000, reaching 60 schools. This year we've expanded to 190 schools at $6,000 grants each, and we are seeing both the interest in that and the work that's coming from it as a wonderful positive.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'll be bothering both of you folks after this hearing because I have not random, it's wonderful, but an apple orchard on one of my school campuses. And we don't
Stevenson?
There you go.
Well, I'm from Castle Hill, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
So we got to figure something else out with that. We've been trying.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I want to keep it too.
Yes, well, we'd love to bring some more. So I know we're in testimony, but you're speaking in inspiration, and especially coming from our home borough and district. What I've seen in Stevenson over the years, in my years of working in food, there is the need to connect not just school gardens, but the breadth of urban agriculture models that are suitable for our communities. We need to support our students, our teachers, in not just doing the work and doing it for free. We need to create the relationships and opportunities where these are city opportunities contracts. So not just getting money to the teachers through DOE and not just giving them funds to do education. Yeah. We also need to create opportunities for our ag partners, nonprofit and emerging businesses to activate or utilize their skills in these communities. I've seen that space go from a robust apple orchard with chickens, Councilmember Brewer,
yes,
to doing their best with what they have, but going mostly fallow. And I've also known the teacher who is the impetus behind that. He retired over 5 to 10 years ago and is still trying to support that work there. We can't continue to think we're gonna have scaled urban agriculture in the skiddy or sailed food fresh produce without, again, the access to the land as well as the contracts and agreements that allow it. But we also have to be open to the breadth of urban agriculture models that we have and really supporting our stakeholders to have the breadth of approaches and knowledge. So community gardens are great. Raised beds are awesome. Hydroponics, innovative, also awesome. But we have models that we need to continue to expand and explore, which is why we're doing so much hard work, and it's taken a little bit more time to build that urban ag criterion on identifying not just sites, but also understanding the models. So Stevenson's a great example where that can not just be an apple orchard, it cannot just be a place for multiple raised beds, it could actually be a community food forest. And fortunately, with our Reimagining Farm to School initiative, these are the scaled projects that we're looking at. How do we identify additional funding so it doesn't just start with us, but we're able to be here to support them and where they move forward. So an apple orchard never has to go fallow, but a community doesn't just have a garden, they can also have an edible food forest that they themselves, from students to teachers to community, can support the stewardship of.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been working with a plethora of different organizations to go in and kind of de-jungleize the apple orchard.
But you never talked to me. No,
Not yet.
Let's
Not
do
yet,
that.
right? But I agree. I mean, I came into this seat in 2022, and it was really just left.
Yes.
However, it was left from previous leadership, and so we've been working with all of the principals in that
Absolutely.
one school. But I look forward to moving forward with a plan together. I will pause. I have some questions around the report and the bill, but I'll pass it over to Councilmember Gutierrez, who has questions.
Oh, hi.
Hi, thank you, Chair, and my apologies for my tardiness. And so if you've answered these questions, double apologies. Good to see you, Kiana.
Good to see you again.
I just had a question. One specific about your remarks in your testimony. I'm curious in the partnership with New York City Public Schools and the Cornell Cooperative Extension. I know in your testimony you mentioned that one of the goals of New York City School Food Eats is to strengthen partnerships and linkages within our food system to support historically disadvantaged farmers. And I know you're in maybe like year 1.5 or year 2 of this partnership. Is that right?
Year 2.
Year 2. What are some of the, I guess, goals? What does it look like for you all, for your office? What does it look like to be successful in this partnership, and what are some of kind of like the long-term goals that you are looking to meet through these partnerships? And I support it. I think it's wonderful. I'm just curious how you're thinking about building it out in year 5, 10, and beyond.
Oh, sure. Well, right now what we've learned in the 2 pilot years is that there are some critical elements that need to continue to be supported and scaled. That is the ag education, and again, it's the connection between urban farmers who are already growing and the direct connection to public school students. In addition, scaling up our community chef demos with that, so the students are able to learn about nutrition education, culturally relevant food, as well as the life cycle of food. We also realize that in order for this to continue and be sustainable, it needs to have an element that we're informing city procurement, and one of the strongest avenues is school food. So here what we're looking at is if we're trying to increase fresh produce, regional produce, and our hyper-local farmers as well as our rural farmers, that we need to give them procurement that's relevant to their scale. So the New York City School Food Eats training in particular is modeled for small to mid-scale farmers to be primed and better have better success in connecting to school food. The training also gives us the opportunity to help inform the Office of School Food and Nutrition on how to build stronger bids, to work with urban growers, to work with value-based growers, to work with regional growers. But we also have to think about scale. And this is one of those things when it comes to agriculture and our food system, is we want to continue to support community agriculture, which I think this Reimagining program does with our urban ag partners. But we want to also support our regional and urban ag growers to grow at scaled food production levels. And those levels will be what is really informative in city procurement. And in order to work with them, we kind of have to meet them where they're at. So that's helping them better connect to MWBE certifications. And this training, we have a module that does that. It also helps to demystify the process around bids, RFPs, for school food. But this is really institutional, right? So if we're really helping, this training that just launched, we're in our second week tomorrow, it's a multi-month virtual training with farmers. But the goal here, in order to think about scaling moving forward, is if we can learn from the successes of our urban ag growers, our public school students, our teachers, and identifying those school gardens as well as city procurement, this will give us the information that we need to build those stronger pathways for them. So with this training, we hope to scale the number of farm and food businesses, not just in the training, but MWBE certified, which is a mayoral priority. And again, we've seen that that's an indicator for value add of value-based procurement as well. We want to make sure that there's more culturally relevant small to mid-scale growers. We see this as an opportunity through this initiative and working with our partners of Cornell with their experience with regional food and our school system with procurement to really think about what the school system's institutional procurement need and how can we also support regional farmers, but also how do we support emerging urban ag businesses and their crops and production into getting into school food.
And I appreciate the emphasis on scale, right? Rightfully so, which I think is, I think in line with a lot of what we try to do at the council, which is planning, which is why I'm in support of this bill. But can you share any information on which communities you are prioritizing? I'm sorry, can I finish? What communities you're prioritizing or looking at, like where are the communities that are problematic with relation to scale? And problematic in like, we need to do more, or we could do more here, or this is a community that, you know, is keenly interested and could benefit from this. Have you already identified those districts or zip codes or part of the process?
Yes, so with the initial start of the Reimagining Farm to School initiative, we worked with OFNS to identify high District 1 schools that were on the chancellor's list for high need schools. So we identified in the 5 boroughs schools to target there. But what we've learned in the last 2 years in building relationships with schools is learning how we can continue to scale up that work to go into further communities. So it's actually connected for us to be able to identify more schools in need, to be able to identify what where they're at in terms of garden, education, and partnership. In addition, what we did is we looked at neighborhoods that were historically disadvantaged, food scarce, and also listened to our urban ag partners. And then we identified partners that are growing food at different scales in different gardens to work there. And then in looking at our rural partner that is involved in the project and thinking about needs, we identified a partner that is not just a farm of color, but they particularly grow culturally relevant crops and have direct community, existing communities of wholesale and retail in their neighborhoods. So what we did was really start the initiative from the communities of need. And we also, of course, assessed other needs like climate injustice, food scarcity, and who's actually growing food already.
And you mentioned, are those schools, is that public?
It should be public, yes.
Okay, great.
And we can make sure you have that info if we don't.
Okay, great. Can I just ask 2 more questions? I'm so sorry. And so my following questions are just related to your testimony with regards to Intro 693. I know the general sentiment is your office is doing this, so maybe legislation is not necessary, is what I gather from your testimony. I disagree, and I think this is the second or third piece of legislation where the response from the admin is unfortunately that. Again, I think there has never been emphasis on planning. Your office is a fairly new office. I think you're doing wonderful work, but the idea of doing borough-based planning and research is instrumental to not just what you're doing today, but what you're the person who's going to fill your role in a
Yes.
million years from today is going to do. So I really would love for the administration to take what we're saying as a way of codifying it to empower your office more to do this work in a more meaningful way. This bill is specific to industrial spaces. And every member on here has been fighting for better planning for manufacturing zones to begin with. Another facet that the city has never done and never done well. So I would implore that you consider this as an opportunity to really allow us to empower your office and to do something for an industrial sector that, again, no administration has been able to really do. The council passed legislation and we're all on it and we're all very excited for planning, but this is very specific and it's really, really an opportunity. So I hope that you take that back. I just had 2 questions on, and that's the end of it for me, where your office is mapping underutilized city-owned land. If you can just share how that looks like what tools you're using, if you're working with any data specific organizations. And the last question is, what is your office's criteria for some of these models? Let me just, urban agriculture models opportunities in some of these districts. What are some of the criteria? What are some of the things that you're looking at already where you think models can be successful? And that's it. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, I might, when we get there, I might need to restate number 3, but I do want to start off with, I really appreciate this hearing and hearing directly from council members on their perspective on Intro 693. I believe, the Mayor's Office of Urban Agriculture will take this information back, and we have the bandwidth and look forward to continuing to collaborate to move urban agriculture opportunities and interests forward. For one, that was number 1. Number 2, in terms of the dashboard, the Urban Agriculture Office had collaborated with a partner, which is quite familiar with the city, Esri, on building our beta map. So where we started with was the existing data that the city already had and just leverage that. So that has been existing OTI data maps around the school gardens.
Esri? You said
Esri,
Okay.
ESRI.
Okay.
I can get more information. Yes, and we share a little bit more about this in the progress report. We started the beta map with existing urban agriculture information, but we do understand there's additional research and refining to that. But what is missing, again, is the information from our urban agriculture and partners and stakeholders in terms of metrics, measurements, and also maybe additional information if some of our information from the city is a little bit behind. So what we're creating with the tool is not just a map, which will be published soon, but not just a map that you're able to see existing data sets, and we're going to continuing to build and refine build new data sets to build on top of that. We're also finding ways to overlay climate resilient information. So this is comprehensive urban ag information, but also the intersection around other needs like space, like climate, and it's great to work with a partner like Esri that has the capacity to build out robust maps like that moving forward. Again, another partner that I shouldn't mention is our urban ag stakeholders. We are building an approach that will engage them intentionally and hopefully accurately in the year to come and starting in this year, and how they can help inform us on what some of the metrics are that we might be missing as a city in urban ag, so we can tell a stronger story from the ground up with their information. So we have a place that's not just a repository for information, but it's an interactive data visualization on urban agriculture models, sites, projects, activities, but also ways to leverage that data internally as well as externally in the community. And then the third question was?
You can get back to me, because I know that the chair has some more questions, but it's just related to, maybe it's in your report, I apologize, some of the criteria based on these, this
Yes.
mapping that you are all utilizing.
Yeah, so we started with some initial research around urban agriculture models, sites, and current activity. But as we mentioned earlier, that we're continuing building urban ag criterion and refining that so it's a little bit more accurate and relevant, and finding a way to engage more stakeholders in informing that moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And a question from Councilmember Nurse.
Yeah, just one to the point question was, I understand you're developing the criteria. Do you have an internal planning timeline for when you want to have that in place?
We're working with the timeline on right now and moving towards the goal of January 2026.
January 2026? And that's when the criteria for identifying what is a site?
Oh, sorry. No, was that the criterion itself?
Yeah, because the issue that you keep referring to is that you don't have the criteria of what, besides what is already an active urban agriculture space, you don't have the criteria to help expand beyond that, and so you're engaging people and trying to build that out. So do you have an internal planning timeline about when that would be developed?
So, keeping with our overarching goal of January 2026 for our overall reports and work, in terms of the criteria in particular, we foresee continuing to work on that in 2025.
So by the end of
quarter 2, quarter 3, but I will continue to follow up if there's any changes or updates to that.
And in terms of that, just as to be more focused on the legislation at hand, and thank you, Councilmember Gutierrez, for what you mentioned, because planning is so important. We don't really do it, and the admin always says no, they don't want us to do any bills. You are specifically engaging with EDC on its inventory?
We have engaged with them in the past, and we're open to continued engagement on related urban ag projects. Okay. And and encourage any support to continue to move forward.
Okay, and I think, I'm sorry to hone on this because I don't have it in my notes as getting clarity, but on the EDC targeting East New York sites, you saying that, I know you said we talked about you being in the process of this, developing the criteria, but there's no initial findings coming from that work.
So what we did in the past year is pivot in terms of the approach to it, because we felt that there was a benefit to refining and building out the criteria more, but also creating a borough-based strategy. So instead of just looking at what neighborhood, we can be a little bit more strategic in thinking about what the elements are needed in order to support our districts and boroughs in a more direct way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to follow up with a lot more questions, but I have just two that I want to focus on, two buckets that I want to focus on. Regarding supporting urban agriculture research, can you tell us more about your collaboration with Cornell on soil research and what specific climate resilience metrics you are tracking?
Oh, great. Thank you so much for asking about soil.
Yeah.
Soil research is soil science, and soil science is soul science. We are continuing our relationships with Cornell around soil research. There have been some changes internally on Cornell in terms of pivots in the research, but we've been having conversations on how to repivot for the year to come. So what that is going to continue to look like is identifying urban agriculture spaces in New York City to continue and further the work of soil research, but also creating a component where we can create relevant opportunities for urban ag stakeholders to be a part of that research. So we realized that we had an opportunity on not just doing soil research with soil scientists Cornell, but it created the opportunity to provide education and stipend opportunity, learning opportunity for other urban ag practitioners. So we wanted to make sure that the research had its time to go through trials, that we could identify funding for that, and we could also identify opportunities from our urban ag stakeholders to be a part of that research. So we look forward to that continuing in 2025.
Great. And how are you folks incorporating those research findings into the policy recommendations?
Sorry, can you
How are you incorporating the research findings into the policy recommendations?
That particular or just in general?
Around the soil research.
Oh, soil research. Yeah, so my expectation is once we start getting the opportunity to evaluate and get the research, we will learn, I should mention, some of the soil research is not to make soil dense, not to just make soil rich, but in particular looking at biochar, looking at rock dust to see if we can make nutrient dense soil to encourage healthier local fresh produce. So what we're hoping is not just to continue to trial, but to be able to evaluate that and help inform that. But I think once we have that data, it will be great to kind of use that to leverage and inform different urban ag policy on either A, how to scale that, and two, how to incorporate more viability in soil research in the city. And you know, how to scale.
And how would you conduct environmental assessments on the existing industrial sites? I'm interested in like potential contamination issues,
Yes.
remediation of soil to make sure that said spaces are usable.
Yes. So the Office of Urban Agriculture, in order to do this and do this well, we are continuing to build and explore relationships with partners on not just folks in our citizen science area that already have that expertise in soil, but also identifying partners like Cornell and other agency partners to how to build a more well-rounded environmental approach to urban agriculture. So leveraging best practices, but also making sure that we're integrating innovative methods in that. But again, we want to also make sure that we're making it feasible and practical for the scale of models that we're working with and creating opportunities for practitioners from students to other nonprofit partners, other academic partners to be a part of that work. That's something we would do in collaboration, but we do identify the need of incorporating that and continue to explore that.
So just to re-clarify, if we're looking at existing industrial sites that we're going to convert into urban agriculture or farm usage, do we have certain criteria that will be set to conduct X amount of research around remediation of soil or if any contamination of soil exists?
So we have additional offices in climate environmental justice and environmental remediation, as well as other agency partners that have a wheelhouse and expertise in that information. So we plan to continue to collaborate and be informed and work with them. What we're also hoping to continue to do in our collaboration is include and integrate any other urban ag approaches or models into that as well.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So we'll be harassing DOHMH on their remediation of said soil spaces and their boring. Yeah. Seeing no other questions from members, I want to thank you folks for coming and testify today. We'll close the administration's testimony. We'll be following up. I look forward to the planning and the processing. We'll be doing both individually in our home base, something others could not do before, but we will do together.
Yes.
And for the future of New York City's urban agriculture. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are now, you can now exit. I appreciate you folks for coming today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rachel, for being here as well. And thank you, council members, for joining, and especially Council Member Brewer and Sandy Nurse. Thank you for taking time.
Of course. I now am going to open the hearing for public testimony. I remind members of the public that this is a formal government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video, recording, or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant at Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card if you have not done so already with the Sergeant at Arms and wait to be recognized. When recognized, you will have 2 minutes to speak on today's hearing topic, citywide access to fresh produce. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy of that testimony to the Sergeant at Arms. And you may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of this hearing, Audio and video recordings will not be accepted. I will now call the first panel. Christine Torreson, Yibing Zhao, Oliver Gonzalez Joachim, Dr. Natalie Greaves Peters. Please join me at the front. Oh, perfect. You're all sitting together.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony to the Committee on Economic Development. I'm Oliver Gonzalez Yoakum, a registered dietitian and research associate at the Laurie M. Tisch Center for Food Education and Policy at Teachers College, Columbia University. I live in Hell's Kitchen and am a member of District 3. Thanks for all the work you do in our community. I would say that to Eric if he were here. I'm joined today by members of our Food Ed Hub, a coalition uplifted and strengthened by the City Council's support over the years. The Hub works to provide equitable food and nutrition education for all New York City students and educators. We are profoundly grateful to City Council for their unwavering support in our endeavors. Access to fresh, nutritious produce is a foundational need for both individual and community health. Research consistently demonstrates that diets rich in fruits and vegetables are linked to longer lifespans, reduced rates of chronic disease, and greater resilience against health disparities. Yet, in a city as dynamic and diverse as ours, this fundamental resource is not shared equally. Barriers like income, geography, and infrastructure prevent many New Yorkers from obtaining fresh produce, impacting health outcomes and quality of life. However, urban agriculture emerges as one of the many novel solutions to these challenges. Converting underutilized spaces into urban farms could bring fresh, affordable produce in areas where it's needed most. Creating green spaces can support environmental sustainability, foster community cohesion, and bolster economic opportunity. These gardens can become hubs where New Yorkers not only access healthy food, but also build deeper connections to their communities and environments. My colleagues at the Tisch Food Center will provide brief comments, followed by insights from organizations and community members already leading impactful work in support of this bill and heading up the charge to increase access to fresh, nutritious, and delicious fruits and veggies. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Yibing Zhao, a doctoral student at the Tisch Food Center. I'm also a New York City resident living in District 26. As my colleague Oliver mentioned, access to fresh, nutritious produce is essential for both individual and community health. Studies show that higher fruit and vegetable consumption is associated with longer life expectancy, lower rates of chronic conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and obesity, and lowered healthcare costs. Unfortunately, many New York City residents in lower income neighborhoods face significant barriers to obtaining fresh produce compared to residents in wealthier areas. For example, residents of the Upper East Side report higher fruit and vegetable consumption, lower rates of diet-related diseases, and convenient access within 5 minutes to grocery stores with fresh produce. By contrast, many residents in the South Bronx report living farther from fresh produce sources, consuming fewer fruits and vegetables, and experiencing higher rates of chronic conditions. In neighborhoods with limited access to fresh produce, bodegas often serve as primary food sources. However, these stores rarely offer affordable, high-quality produce, forcing the residents to rely on packaged foods that could contribute to poor health outcomes. In addition, household income remains a strong predictor of fruit and vegetable consumption, underscoring the need to increase access to affordable fresh produce citywide as a step towards health equity for all residents. Now, my colleague Christine will talk more about the potential of urban agriculture.
Thank you, Yibing. Hello, I'm Christine Torreson, master's student at the Tisch Food Center and NYC resident here in District 1. Supporting this bill, which proposes the conversion of unused industrial spaces into urban agriculture sites, is a crucial step toward advancing equity in food access and community resilience across New York City. Our city already has a growing network of urban agriculture sites. According to 2022 data from the Cornell Cooperative Extension, the city is home to over 27 commercial farms and more than 600 community and public gardens. This is an outstanding achievement, but not nearly enough to support NYC's close to 9 million residents. Expanding this network through the conversion of underutilized industrial spaces into urban farms would enhance food sovereignty in neighborhoods across the city, directly supporting marginalized communities with limited access to affordable fresh produce. The Tisch Food Center, together with our coalition partners who you will hear from today, are poised with the expertise and experience in urban agriculture to support the implementation of this bill. Urban agriculture addresses food insecurity by providing communities with greater control over their food sources, particularly in areas that lack access to fresh and affordable produce. Our experience working with New Yorkers in underserved communities has shown us that urban agriculture is not only about food access. It also brings tangible environmental, social, and economic benefits. For example, green spaces created through urban farming help reduce the urban heat island effect, improve local economies by creating jobs, and support climate resilience through carbon sequestration. My colleague Natalie will now speak to how this bill can advance community resilience.
Thanks, Christine. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Natalie Graves-Peters, also a registered dietitian and currently a postdoctoral senior research associate at the Tisch Food Center. I also reside in this district, District 1. As you've heard from my colleagues, urban agriculture provides essential benefits that strengthen community resilience, especially in times of crisis. These urban farms offer a reliable local food source during distribution to traditional supply chains, such as extreme weather events or public health emergencies. For example, the Queens Botanical Garden Urban Farm grows food for donation to local food banks and hosts community workshops on sustainable practices, empowering residents to be stewards of their food systems. In addition to providing fresh food, urban agriculture fosters local job creation and economic stability. The bill's focus on converting underutilized industrial spaces for urban farming will open sustainable employment opportunities, including jobs in farming, food storage, and distribution, industries critical to food security. By supporting urban agriculture in these spaces, the bill protects industrial zones for local industry and food policy, expanding job training opportunities in food-related sectors, especially for women and minority-owned businesses. Through our coalition's work with programs like Red Hope Farms, we've seen how urban farms can create pathways for young people to enter the workforce, develop leadership skills, and contribute to their communities. Urban agriculture also reduces the environmental impact of our city's food supply by localizing food production. Currently, much of our food is transported long distances, creating high carbon emissions. By converting spaces within our communities into green spaces and urban farms, this bill allows us to reduce our reliance on imported produce, cutting down on transportation emissions, and supporting a sustainable local food economy. I will now look forward to hearing from some of the Food at Hub community members.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Any questions for this panel? Thank you, folks. I will now call the next panel up. Megan Nordgren. I'm going off of your penmanship, folks. Jesse Miller, Emily Miller, and Renee Keat. I don't want to struggle, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I get it right. People butcher my last name all the time, so.
Hi, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Chairwoman Farias, and of course, Councilmember Brewer, and Councilmember Nurse, and Councilmember Gutierrez, and virtually Councilmember Salamanca. We've had the pleasure of working with all of you to bring hydroponic classrooms to your schools over the years. Thank you. Now, thank you. So appreciative of the opportunity to speak today, and so appreciative of all of your support in the past. Excited to join our colleagues from the Food Ed Hub to support citywide access to fresh food and urban agriculture. I'm Megan Nordgren. I'm with New York Sunworks. We are a nonprofit that builds hydroponic farm classrooms in New York City public schools. And in these farm classrooms, we are using the hydroponic technology to educate students and teachers about the science of sustainability and bring quality STEM education through the lens of urban farming. We envision a generation of environmental innovators empowered to create solutions to our global climate challenges. And since opening our first hydroponic classroom in 2010 in the wonderful District 6, we've partnered with over 350 schools, including in all of your districts, reaching more than 140,000 students annually in New York and beyond. And each year, our school partners are training tens of thousands of New York City students, the vast majority of whom are in Title I schools, and many who live in food deserts, to grow food from seed to harvest. And these students are then bringing, with tremendous pride and joy, these vegetables, the fresh vegetables and fruits that they're growing in their classroom, home to share with their families. Our hydroponic classrooms across the city have the capacity to grow 200,000 pounds of vegetables per year. Further, our urban agriculture workforce development program that we're implementing in about 10 high schools across the city is giving the students the skills they need to enter the emerging workforce and farming industry and green economy. Thank you. We support the bill. Apologies.
Thank you. Please feel free to submit the testimony to us at testimony@council.nyc.gov. And I'd like to also call up Ray Gomez, if they're in the room. Great. And is Beth Bainbridge also in the room? Sergeants, can we get an additional chair? Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll begin. My name is Jesse Miller. I'm the farm manager at the Spring Creek Towers Farm, which is a new but quite large urban farm in East New York, Brooklyn. It's in the Starrett City Affordable Housing Development. I'm speaking on behalf of the Opportunity Hub, a community development nonprofit serving Starrett City, Brooklyn. We provide various social services to our residents, including the Spring Creek Towers Farm. As the farm manager, I have witnessed the profound positive impact that our urban farm has had on the community. In East New York, affordable, high-quality produce and healthy food are often difficult to find. Many residents express a desire to cook healthier meals and incorporate more plant-based products into their diets. However, some lack the knowledge and skills to prepare these meals. Additionally, many students I work with have little experience growing food and are often surprised to learn how vegetables grow and how fresh produce differs significantly from processed options. Both children and adults are eager to engage in outdoor and social activities, and they're very supportive of our community farm and others in the neighborhood. Our urban farm addresses the East New York food desert in several key ways. First, by cultivating culturally relevant produce, we provide nutrient-dense vegetables that are excitedly consumed by our Starrett City residents. Second, our older adults gardening program and community engagement events allow residents to participate in the garden, learn how to grow food, and experience the documented health benefits of gardening in a community. It's truly amazing to see these older adults come into the garden, maybe feeling sick, dealing with physical ailments, dealing with maybe some feelings, and come out of the garden feeling so much better and enlivened. Moreover, we offer garden education to students at PS 346, Abe Stark Elementary, teaching them about food systems, fostering a love for fresh produce, and creating a magical outdoor classroom experience. I've witnessed incredible growth in my students since I began at the farm. Okay, I'll just end here. We support the bill, and we would also love to seek financial support in this bill and from the council to continue our work in East New York. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Emily Miller. I'm the Director of Development and Communications with Teens for Food Justice, and I'm a resident of District 10, Washington Heights. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you so much. On behalf of Teens for Food Justice, TFFJ, I am writing to express, or speaking to express, our strong support for 693. As a nonprofit organization empowering young people to combat food insecurity through indoor, closed environment, high-yield hydroponic farming, we recognize this initiative as a critical step to increasing equitable access to fresh produce. At one of our farms, Martin Luther King Jr. Educational Campus in Councilwoman Brewer's district, students grow up to 10,000 pounds of fresh produce annually inside their school. This produce is distributed to the campus cafeterias, shared with campus families, and shared with Lincoln Square Neighborhood Center across the street, significantly increasing access to healthy food for the entire community as well as the school population. For many of our students, nutrition-related health challenges such as diabetes and hypertension are not just statistics, they are the realities they face every day. Many of these students are responsible for preparing after-school meals for their younger siblings, which makes their participation in our nutrition education programs especially critical. Through TFFJ, they gain the skills and knowledge to create healthier meals at home and advocate for better nutrition in their communities. Urban agriculture also provides an invaluable opportunity to prepare these young people for careers in the growing green economy. By integrating STEM education with hands-on farming, TFFJ equips students with practical skills in sustainable agriculture, environmental science, and technology, while fostering leadership and agency. Expanding these initiatives citywide will open doors for countless individuals to thrive in this rapidly evolving sector. Beyond food production, urban ag addresses inequalities in nutritious food access and subsequent health outcomes. Legislation like 693 tackles social determinants of health by increasing this access and offering tangible solutions for a healthier, more equitable city. Thank you for your leadership on this critical issue and for prioritizing the well-being of all New Yorkers. Thanks.
Good afternoon. All right. My name is Ray Gomes. I'm a mother, I'm a writer, I'm an activist, food justice organizer, mostly based in Central Brooklyn, but I do organize nationally. I am on the leadership team of National Black Food and Justice Alliance. I'm also a co-founder of Central Brooklyn Food Co-op, and I also contributed to the creation of Central Brooklyn Food Hub. I am speaking in opposition to this bill, not because I disagree with the main infrastructure and the platform that it is, more so the process of how this has gone about. I am from the marginalized communities that folks are mentioning here. I also work very extensively in Brownsville and East New York as well. I helped create a food as medicine program called Route to Wellness at OBH, One Brooklyn Health, where we, between June and October, sold over 7,000 pounds of food to over 400 participants. We were able to get subsidized funding for folks so that it could be affordable to them, and also affordable and sustainable to our partners, Brooklyn Packers. And we also work with Grow NYC, where the food is purchased specifically from BIPOC farmers. I say that because there are a lot of programming and a lot of initiatives that are happening in the city that seem very disconnected, specifically from the Mayor's Office of Food Policy. And these initiatives are really addressing access to fresh produce and are really centering the communities that folks keep mentioning here that I don't see here. So I'm really just disappointed in the lack of community engagement for this process. And I know personally, because I've worked with these various offices at various times in my career, I've worked at the health department, so I'm very familiar with HealthBucks and Fresh. I can give you some real on-the-ground issues with those programs and those statistics that I keep hearing, because I'm talking directly with communities as well as other people. And I'll just finish up really quickly. There is a food equity assessment tool that we help create with the Mayor's Office of Food Policy that talks about how we can center community in these types of efforts. And I really would invite folks to look at that and use that in continuing creating these things. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Beth Bainbridge, and I am here representing the Sylvia Center. Thank you, Councilmember Farias, and all the members of the Economic Committee for convening this hearing today. We appreciate the opportunity to submit this testimony on behalf of the Sylvia Center and as a member of the Tisch Food Center, or the Tisch Center's Food Ed Hub, in support of the plan to convert unused industrial areas to urban ag sites.
Sorry, Sergeant, can you pause the time?
There's feedback, right?
There is feedback. I think you have to move it a little bit away from you. No, he looked at it already. Okay, I think we
Better?
can begin again. You can, yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you. We see this initiative as an important step to making fresh, healthy food accessible to all New Yorkers, particularly those who live in neighborhoods with limited fresh food access. Founded in 2007 to address diet-related diseases in under-resourced communities, the Sylvia Center educates young people and their families through culinary programming to promote health and well-being. The Sylvia Center programming runs in all 5 of New York City's boroughs and served more than 6,000 participants last year. We help young people and families take control of their health through better food choices and encourage them to be healthy food advocates in their communities. 94% of program participants report eating 1 or more healthy meals per week as a result of our nutrition-focused classes. Through our experience in providing food education programming citywide, we know firsthand the importance that fresh food access has on positive student and community health outcomes. Through our programs, students learn about food justice, food insecurity, and food waste, along with food access, lessons that can only truly be learned with urban ag sites based in our neighborhoods. Urban farming activities will support the development of a new generation of community food advocates that we are cultivating at the Sylvia Center. Urban agriculture spaces bring together students and community members and provide opportunities for connection, collaboration, and cooperation. Understanding the importance of community space, as one of our students said, I'm getting to explore the world around me and community because Queens...
You can take a few more seconds.
Great. Because Queens is the most diverse place on earth, and I think I get to explore that, not only through these places, but its people and its food. So we urge the City Council to adopt legislation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those that testified. Any questions for the panel? Sure, Councilmember Brewer.
Thank you. I know I love your hydroponics program, but my question is, I've had trouble getting the Department of Education to agree to utilize the food. They understandably, folks want to take it home, that's great, and you do tastings, and that's great, but I can't tell you how many times the salad bar sucks at the school, and they see the wonderful hydroponics lettuce right there, and they can't use it. So I'm just wondering, is that a discussion, or is that something that we still have to work out, or?
I know in the past it was able to be used. So, but we, at New York Sunworks, we do, since we're growing it in the classroom, we really strongly advocate for the students to taste it in the classroom and to bring it home. Because if you remove it from the classroom and the connection to where they grew it and how they grew it, they lose their interest in it. So 98% of the kids in the classroom are willing to taste the food and are excited about it and passionate about it and just truly joyful. But if you take it and put it in the salad bar, then it becomes something that might not be as, they don't feel that connection that I grew this, I grew that. So we, through our Harvest program, we send the food home with information about nutrition, how to cook, cultural experiences, and then encourage students to share back what they're learning from their families and to build that homeschool connection as well. So, but in the past, schools have been able to use it, so I'm surprised to hear that they couldn't use it but maybe.
If I can also add to an answer, at the TFFJ at the 6 farms that we're operating in New York City, we are able to distribute our produce to the cafeteria. They are our first and highest priority customer, if we will. Though they do not pay for the food, we donate it to the salad bars. And as much as possible, the school cafeterias love to find ways to incorporate it into the food that they are able to prepare, although most kitchens are not set up for scratch cooking.
All right, well, I'll talk offline about King. That's not happening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? No? Thank you. You folks are excused. I'm going to move to virtual testimony at this moment, and I'd like to call on Aishima Harris, Joanna Dorsey, Yvonne St. Luce, and Yemi Amu. Aishima Harris, if you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Chairwoman Reyes and Committee of Economic Development for the opportunity to testify. My name is Aishima Harris Ouedraogo, and I'm the Director of Advocacy and Programs at Green Gorillas, a nonprofit organization supporting community gardeners and youth in the food justice movement across New York for over 50 years. I'm here in support of Intro 693, but before I jump into the reason why I'm supporting, I also want to raise some concerns that community gardeners are facing And we know that these spaces are crucial to our city's social and economic and environmental health. However, due to their challenges, community gardeners are facing a threat for longevity and sustainability. And some of these challenges are that our community gardeners are aging out, and there are socioeconomic challenges that are leading to decline in membership in community gardeners, particularly among our young generations. Community gardeners bear heavy financial burden to sustain our city green spaces. Even though the city funds green thumb, there's still a lot more that can be done. Community gardeners are still having to come out of their pocket to pay for the basic necessities that they need. Nearby housing developments have been causing a lot of increased rodent infestation and illegal dumping that affects the livelihood of community gardeners and the neighborhood in general. And community gardeners feel that their longstanding contributions are undervalued by the city. I've done a lot of trainings with community gardeners, and they always ask, like, does the city really cares about us? And to address these challenges, we're asking for the city to enact legislation that secure the permanent protection for community gardens, establish a green equity fund.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Community gardeners with resources to underserve, and for the support of Intro 693. We just want the bill to fully define what does urban agriculture mean and to incorporate community gardens as a part of that. And to also be explicitly clear and consider.
Your time has expired.
Right.
Can you please make
Thank
sure
you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming to testify. Can you please make sure to email us your full explanation of what you'd like to see within Intro 693?
Thank you.
Oh, sure. And Councilmember Nurse has a question.
No, I just wanted to say hi because I've known Aisha for like a decade, for longer than that. And yes, we want to include community gardens in what we want to do with the legislation, and hope to work with you on some feedback around it. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'd now like to call on Joanna Dorsey to unmute themselves.
You may begin.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Joanna Dorsey, and I serve as the Director of Policy and Advocacy for Black Farmers United New York State. BFU is a member-led organization of over 150 Black farmers, land stewards, and educators that is spanned all across New York State. And today I'm here to testify in support of Councilwoman Sandy Nurse's bill, Intro 0693. One thing that I really just wanted to uplift is the testimony that we heard throughout the day so far that really touched on key points that are essential to this bill, such as benefits to the community, the economic benefits, as well as the health benefits. But I would also like to uplift the importance and the availability of veteran farmers, specifically farmers of color, to support in the implementation of this bill. As a sister from the National Black Food and Justice Alliance mentioned, there may have been a missed opportunity in the development here, but there is certainly an opportunity to include BIPOC farmers in this project through the utilization of Black-led nonprofits such as MBFJA and Ayeshima's organization, as well as Black Farmers United. These organizations have members that have established networks and community outreach, technical expertise and knowledge sharing, the capacity for workforce training and development, and then also the firsthand knowledge of what's needed in order to allow our farmers to be able to take part in the equitable possibilities that a bill like this could present. I'm part of the Coalition for the Good Food New York bill, which is the statewide version of the New York City Good Food Purchasing Program. And with that, we surveyed a lot of our members to really find out what the barriers are to help that they face with accessing institutionalized purchasing. And one of the main barriers was access to land. So I just want to uplift the importance of this bill and how this can really help to scale smaller farms, specifically those who have been historically disenfranchised. I don't know if I've reached my time, but I just want to wrap it up because a lot of what I've wanted to say has been said, and just to show support for the testimony that's been given so far. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Joanna. I really appreciate it. I'd now like to recognize Yvonne St. Luce.
You may begin.
Pardon my mispronunciation.
Hey, it's all right. My name is Yvonne. I'm just a regular citizen. I came to New York 2 years ago, and I'm just a testament as to what all of you guys are doing. I just want to commend you. I know everybody is trying to incorporate everything together, but I think you're on the right path. There was a young lady who spoke about going against the testimony, I believe. And I can see why she is coming from, because one thing that I would say that could be beneficial is because I started with the composting program, and I got a opportunity to go through the community gardens, go through the different composting sites. And it was beneficial because I gained community, and I gained a lot about New York, understand about New York. And I think these people that's in the micro settings are people that you probably need to target, because they can tell you exactly, how we can make all of this beneficial for everybody on a grander scale. So it's just on a micro level that needs to be addressed for my opinion. But I'm happy that everybody is on the same page, even if it's a different page, but we're trying to do the same book basically. So it's been an honor hearing all the beautiful things. And I would love to be a part of something to help with the process. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming to testify, Yvonne. I'd like to now call on Yemi Amu.
You may begin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yemi Amu. I'm sorry if there's noise in the background. I'm actually at a cafe right now because we are just moving out of our farm. We lost our lease. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful that this bill 0692 exists. I'm speaking as a Black farmer. I have been running Oko Farms for over a decade now. We raise freshwater fish and vegetables. We're an aquaponics farm, an outdoor aquaponics farm, because we believe that aquaponics should be accessible. We do everything from school groups to adult education on our farm. Every year we host at least about 2,000 young children. We have wellness and nutrition workshops. We provide free culinary education, and we also donate about 60% of the produce that we grow to our partner who runs community fridges. They maintain and run and maintain community fridges around the city. The work that we do is not easy. We do it with very limited resources and constantly facing the barrier of land tenureship is very hard. There's been a lot of talk about making sure people get fed. I think it is equally important to talk about how we sustain the folks who are growing the food. Urban farmers do the work of both growing food and educating people. And we have to do it with a lot of land insecurity. I support this bill, but I would love to hear more about how to support small scale farmers, mid scale farmers, and how to think about providing them not just resources, but tenure. I think that is land tenureship. That is something that is really lacking. A lot of the work that we do also involves training young people. We pay the young people that we work with. And the questions that comes up for me all the time is, how can I have this as a career for myself? And without making sure that there's land available for these young people,
Your
we're
time
not
has
going
expired.
to have a future of urban farmers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the folks that showed up virtually, especially our Black women farmers. I really am appreciative of getting your perspective on this hearing topic and the bill specifically. If there's no questions for this panel, great. With that, last call for anyone in person. Amazing. This hearing is now adjourned. I really appreciate everyone's thoughts today, the comprehensive questions and conversations and dialogue we are really creating from this going forward. At least for the women in this hearing room right now, we are community grown, local people that are on the ground working to try to solve some of the problems our communities are facing. And we're hoping that this is conversation one of many to come on this one topic and also this bill. So thank you all for coming today.